Are you aware, Minister, that the cut that you decided in the CE training and materials grant, cut of 66%, will in fact decimate community employment schemes and projects, and the communities who in fact depend on it? You have acknowledged the dependence of many schemes. Do you agree, Minister, that the cut was made, in fact, earlier this month, and that despite your announcement of a review before Christmas, many of those people believe that they were saved from a cut, where in fact this is not the case? Do you accept that you announced a review and misled the public on the CE scheme simply to get your own party's backbenchers off your case? And in the budget you announced a cut to community employment programme of 41.5 million. You have determined to make a cut in the region of 27.5 million to the training and materials funding. In essence, you have not decided. You've already decided the outcome of the review, and what you stated there seemed to endorse that. So, have you already decided the outcome of the review, and what is the purpose of it? And finally, Lashkown Corla, do you in fact agree that you are conducting a review, and by so doing, after the fact, you are demonstrating that you didn't bother to assess the impact of this cut when you decided to make it in the first place, and that if you had looked, that most of the material you're talking about was already in the department and the review could have been carried out without implementing a cut of the scale that you announced?
Yeah. First of all, I think, Deputy Snodaigh, there's actually no shortage of reviews of CE. In fact, there's been a great many reviews of CE, right up to the time when CE schemes joined my department. They joined on the 1st of January, in practice on the 4th of January, together with the staff, some 700 staff who formerly worked in the employment services side of FOSS and the administration of CE schemes. And I have to say, the CE schemes coming into the Department of Social Protection, with the Department's long commitment to people who are unemployed, I am absolutely convinced that when we discuss this again in 8 or 9 months' time, that in fact we can see how much progression we've made. You say about reviews, Deputy, all of the reviews, both national and international, have been highly critical of the lack of progression of people on CE into employment, because they are actually described as labour market schemes. Now, you and I and the other deputies in the House here also know that they have critical importance in quite a lot of areas all over the country of also delivering local services. In terms of the 2 reviews that are underway, one is in relation to the financial, if you like, facts and figures in relation to CE schemes. I think it would be very odd if the Department of Social Protection, taking over responsibility for the CE schemes, didn't look for an analysis of the very large spend. This year we'll be spending about 315 million on CE schemes. In total, we'll be spending over $1 billion in relation to what are called employment support schemes, some of which have come from the old FOSS, and some of which, like the Back to Education allowances, have been funded always by my department. So we're looking at all of these schemes, and I think that a lot of deputies in this House would be very disappointed if we didn't actually look.
Minister, you mentioned the reviews which found that there was limited progression. Do you not agree that it's illogical if progression is so low that you are cutting the training and materials grant, but the training grant in particular, and of which is the only hope of getting people trained? And the other point there is, do you not agree that there'd be very little progression if there's no jobs? And finally, Minister, would you not lift the budgetary cut pending the outcome of the review? And as you already said, there's many of these reviews are sitting there on the shelves, and if some of them were implemented, you wouldn't have to go through that, or if the findings or the data that's already in the department, you wouldn't have CE schemes going cap in hand to the department to try and survive for the next couple of months, creating another bureaucratic nightmare